Good morning everybody, myself Acharya Vishvendra. I was just discussing about the optimal performance analysis for competitive exams. Let's elaborate the actual situation. Suppose there are two students, student A and student B. Let's analyze their study hours. Suppose A study for 6 hours a day and B study for, let's say, 14 hours a day. Now let's assume that the performance for A is that A gets 85% marks in the test and B gets only 55% marks in the test. As you must have seen that there are certain students in the class who work less in terms of quantity but more in terms of quality. They have amazing memory, amazing problem solving skill, amazing analytical skills, visualization skills, or ultimately they are equipped with all the tools necessary to perform optimally in the exams or to perform the best. So they are in the top layers. So at this point we come to know there are two dimensions of working. One is the quantity and another is the quality. And obviously both of these are having their own significance. But certainly quality dominates in the long term. If you think in terms of diverging success, quantity cannot lead you to earn big and achieve beyond limits. Things will be limited. Suppose there is a wage worker and he works for 18 hours a day. So the maximum money that he can earn is 500, 600 or at maximum 1000. That's in terms of scarcity when there are extreme conditions. So working for long hours does not mean that it will fetch you money, name and respect beyond a certain limit. Because when you are working for long hours, that often means that you have certain fixed patterns made up in your mind-brain system. And your mind-brain system has been hypnotized with those particular patterns. Suppose a person is doing anything, then if we observe the mind-brain or the brain of the person, then certainly he is following a certain process. And this is called a neural pattern. Suppose you are making a wall. So your entire focus is on the process of making the wall. And in this process, you don't think. If you are dedicated for your work, you are able to manage your energies to perform a single task, and which is the neural pattern, I say. And you just repeat the neural patterns. So your entire energy is repeating again and again. And when you repeat something, it sends your brain a message of being comfortable, being silent internally. And you want that everything in life should work according to that internal peace where there are no chaos, where there are no thinking involved, where there are no consciousness involved. So this happens because when you repeat a task a certain number of times, It gets entered into your unconscious mind and you do things unconsciously. That gives you a certain sort of feeling, a certain sort of comfort zone, a certain sort of pleasure. But at the same time, this is against life because life itself is chaos. Everything ranging from the vibration of a string under the effect of the quantum fields to the entire universe, there are chaos. Everything is in motion. Everything is in search of something. And the entire life is that motion itself, that chaos itself, that change itself. And that change induces, or that change makes sure that you are alive. You can respond to the changes. If you are unconscious, that just means that there is no life involved in that. So, when optimal performance is concerned, let's take example of a question. Suppose that I say a particle is moving in such a way that the force acting on it is t square minus 3t plus 2. Mass is, let's say, 4 kg. Initial velocity 2 meter per second. We have to find velocity at t is equal to 10 seconds. So just feel this question and try to get the answer. I hope you must have a key to how to solve the question. So the first thing is your brain-mind system have started working on finding relation between velocity and force. So you know that velocity is related to the acceleration by the equation v is equal to u plus integration of a dt. So the first task that your mind-brain system must have done is to find the relation that v is u plus integration of a dt. Limits obviously 0 to 10. Initial velocity is 10, so v is 10 plus integration a dt from the limit 0 to 10. Now here is not known to us. So then again you have to rack your brain, you have to think that force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass here is 4, so acceleration is force by 4. Force is given as t square minus 3t plus 2 divided by 4, so this will be acceleration. Now the task is simple, you just substitute the value. So 10 plus integration t square minus 3t plus 4 by 4 into dt, and you integrate it from 0 to 10. So in that way you will find the velocity. But here is the question. Just observe the process, the emotions, the psychological things, the neurological things that happens to you during solving this question. Let's say it is comprising of 10 steps. So you must have felt a sudden change in yourself. You need to access, the first thing is you need to access the very classified information which relates velocity with acceleration or velocity with the force. And for that you need to do a certain algorithm, you need to rack your brain for that. And that racking up the brain, use of the different parts of the brain, or more specifically use of different brainwave frequency, causes stress, anxiety, depression, low feelings, lack of energy, etc. So you can solve this question if you have been adaptive to the high frequency performances.